Ms Legalista here. Thank you for joining. I want to talk about Julie Chrisley, the Chrisleys, Todd Chrisley, maybe in passing, I don't know. You can go back and take a look at the numerous videos that I did. I don't know, what year was that? 2022, first part of 2023, when I was going through, the winding up of everything that was going on with their fraud case and I don't know, tax evasion, all of that. The bank fraud and the tax evasion case. Well, Julie Chrisley was back in court this week for a resentencing hearing, and it looks like there's no get out of jail early card for her, unfortunately. We're going to take a look at this AP story that just sort of gives a breakdown. But what I want to set you up for is to go back and take a look at these new character letters that were submitted this time. One in particular even references Senator Raphael Warnock, which was interesting how other people get drawn into this, which reminded me of Elizabeth Holmes and the Theranos case and how Cory Booker, Senator Cory Booker, submitted a character letter on her behalf. So you never know how these things are going to turn out. But in this case, she has been resentenced to her 7 years in this bank fraud and tax evasion case. The Atlanta Journal and Constitution, whatever the name of that newspaper is down there in Atlanta, you guys know, said that during the hearing, it was the first time that she had ever really apologized for what had happened. Now, I don't know that that's the case, but it's my understanding that that's what they were reporting. Let me see if I can bring this up. Unfortunately, I didn't already have this set up, so it's going to take me a second. All right, let's see here. Let me pull it back over here because I like to be on the screen too, so I can see what I'm talking about here. All right, this is this AP story that just came out. Remember, this just happened this week. Reality TV star Julie Chrisley resentenced to 7 years in bank fraud and tax evasion case. Now, one of the things that I think people think about is that this stuff sort of happened, once they became the reality TV stars. But no, a lot of this happened before that and just continued for a number of years. It says a federal judge on Wednesday resentenced Julie Chrisley to 7 years in prison for her conviction on bank fraud and tax evasion charges, declining the reality TV star's request for less time in prison. So they were asking for 5 years. So they were trying to get that down from 7 to 5. And one of the things that they were trying to say was, well, hey, she wasn't as heavily involved as he was. Well, yeah, that's why he got more time than she did. The other thing they talked about was, hey, there's still children at home, the family, the mom, everyone is depending on them. Well, one of the things the judge said was this happens to all families. These are some of the consequences, unfortunately, when these kinds of choices are made. And then we have these sentences. So, yeah, so it says Chrisley and her husband, Todd Chrisley, gained fame on the show Chrisley Knows Best, because that's when I heard about him, which followed their tight-knit family and extravagant lifestyle. A jury in 2022 found them guilty. Okay, we know that. Then there was this 3-panel judge, which upheld the convictions, but found a legal error in how the judge calculated her sentencing by holding her accountable for the entire bank fraud scheme. So they sent that back to the lower court to have them look at that. So that's where we were. And so you can see here that one of the things that her attorney argued was that she was a minor player, that she's been doing well while she's been imprisoned. And then there's this part here at the end about her good behavior doesn't cancel out an 11-year journey of fraud after fraud after fraud. And I think that was one of the big things that I think characterized what went on, was that it went on for so long, number one, and that number two, they were fraudulently getting this money and then using it to pay off new money that they were getting. Then they filed for bankruptcy and was able to walk away from all of this. So here we go right here. This is a piece that I really want to point out to you. Don't know what's going on over there in the in-paying call Shane, but there you go. So this is the piece that I really want to point out. Before the Chrisleys became reality television stars, they and a former business partner submitted false documents to banks in the Atlanta area to obtain fraudulent loans, prosecutors said during the trial. They accused the couple of spending lavishly on luxury cars, designer clothes, real estate, and travel, and using new fraudulent loans to pay off old ones. Todd Chrisley then filed for bankruptcy, according to prosecutors, walking away from more than $20 million in unpaid loans. So now you can see how we got to where we were with everything that was going on. And, when you go back and look at the complaint talks about things about how they were going back and dating documents, just the whole sort of scheme and how it was set up. So this sort of brings us up to speed on this, what sort of went happen, why they were back in court, why they even got charged to begin with. But I am going to go through some of these character letters in another video. And I'm actually going to go to the minutes from that hearing. I'll pull that up, go through that. It was less than an hour, it looks like, according to the minutes, but we'll take a look at that. It's just a short piece, but this is sort of a good summary here in terms of, let me get it actually off this page. This is sort of a good summary here, excuse me, from AP News about just giving you the breakdown of what happened and sort of understanding this. Like it said, this happened before they were reality TV stars. This was already in the mix and had been going on for a number of years. And this sort of, hey, I'm now going to walk away from it all by filing for bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is supposed to be this opportunity for people to be able to wipe the slate clean. That's the whole point of it. But it's not set up to help people who have been committing fraud, accused of committing fraud, and then, found guilty. It's set up for people who may have had, health issues, employment issues. Things happen to people just because they're living, and sometimes things don't work out. And sometimes they need a clean slate to be able to start over, start fresh, and this helps them do that. Well, in this case, yeah, we understand what happened here after seeing what was reported by AP News. So I hope that sort of brings you up to speed. Let me know your thoughts on what you thought of the sentencing here. Did you think that the number of months that she received was too much? Do you think they should have reduced it to 5 years? Question number one. Question number two is, do you think, because this is essentially white collar crime, there's no violence here. I mean, now sometimes people want to use that term a little loosely, but no physical violence here. So when we compare a term like this to maybe a term that someone received really for something that was criminal but was a violent action, do you think the amount of time that she got makes sense in terms of that also? Too much time, too little time? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, all right? Don't forget to like the video, and peace.